Okay, this is a video that shows a hand trace of an example from the book. I put hand in quotes here because, in fact, it's in PowerPoint. Um, but I think that the format makes it pretty easy to see what's going on in the program. The other comment that I'm going to make is that this is a slightly different, the program is slightly different than the one in the book, just so that it would fit onto the screen more easily. So let's take a look. All right, the situation is this. Here's the program, and over here are all the variables that are in the program, which are initially undefined. And down here will be the output, but there's nothing there yet. And this arrow here indicates where we are to begin with. I did not put the couple of lines at the top with pound include and using, just so we would be able to make this text of this code larger so you could see it easily. Okay, so let's get started. All the programs start at the first line of main, which is right here, and that is the initial situation as you see it. Now the next thing that happens is this line will execute. Well, when that executes, we have age, count, and total, or each being set to 0. And I have this output line here, but nothing is come out to the output, so that's where it's sitting, waiting to begin the output. Okay, so that sets those values, and that's why these are in red. And throughout this video, these will change to red when the value has changed. All right, so the next line, it says cout enter -1 when finished, which I just fixed to put an endl there. So so it says enter -1 when finished, and over here you see that goes out to the screen, and because of the endl, the cursor would be right here on the beginning of the next line, ready to display more things to the output. Okay, so that finishes that line. Now let's go to the next line. It says while age is not equal to -1. Well, if we look over here, age is 0, so it is not -1, and so that means that we will go on into the body of this loop, which is what happens on the next step. All right, so here we are in the body of the loop. Here's the cout enter an age, colon, notice there's a space there. And so over here we have enter an age, colon, and a space. And now this line is indicating that that's where the next thing will get written to the output. Notice it's not on the next line. It's just right here because there's no endl here. Okay, then let's see, and nothing has changed up here. It's just on the output. All right, the next line is a cin statement. All right, cin age. And we see up here age, and we'll guess that the input value is 21. And so there it is. And notice this is still where it is. Nothing has happened for the output, but the age has been updated. The next line, we display age on the output line and do an endl. So here is the 21, and here is the where the next output will go, is down here because of the endl. Next, what happens is it says if age is not equal to -1, well, it's 21, so it's not -1, so we're going to go into the body of this if statement. Count equals count plus 1. That means it was 0, and now we're going to add 1 to it, so it is now 1. Notice nothing has changed out here in the output. Then the next line is total is equal to total plus age. Well, it was 0. 21 plus 0 is 21. And so now total is 21. And now we're at the end of the if statement. Nothing actually happens, but I've indicated that so that I could mention that we're at the end of the if statement. And now we're also at the end of the while statement. Again, nothing is happening. It's just where we are next. So now we're going to go back up and test this case, age not equal to -1. Well, age is 21, it's not -1, so we'll go into the body of the loop, and it'll say enter an age, and then here's the arrow again indicating it's waiting on this line to display the value. Here it is, cin age. Age is now 19. You can see that up here. And we display age on the screen and then go to the beginning of the next line because of the end L. And let's see, next thing that happens is we're going to test this if. If age is not equal to -1. Well, it's 19, it's not -1, so we'll go into the body of the if statement. And so count is equal to count plus 1. That means count is now 2. You can see that up here. And total is equal to total plus age. Well, 19 plus 21 is 40. So now total is 40. Notice nothing has come out on the screen here in the meantime. And now we're finished the if statement. And now we're at the bottom of the while statement. And we'll go back up and we'll check it again. It says, well, age is not equal to -1. Well, age is 19. It's not -1. So let's see out, enter an age, colon, space. And so there we are waiting for this value to go out. Cin age, let's say that age is now -1. So that's what is entered is a -1. So age is -1. We display the -1 out here on the screen and go to the beginning of the next line because of the end L. If age is not equal to -1, well, it is equal to -1, so we're not going to do this if statement, the body of this if statement. So we just jump to the end of the if statement, which then takes us to the bottom of the while loop. And now, and this is where a lot of students get confused, we go back up and check it at that point. Notice if we go back a few steps here, when age became -1, we didn't suddenly leap out of the loop here and go on down to here. We finished going through the rest of the steps, and then when we came back to the top, now we're going to check to see if age is equal to -1, which it is. And that means we are finished with the loop, and we're going to execute the line after the end of the loop. So this says you entered space and then count. Well, count is 2, so it says you entered 2. And then the next line is count, see out, and then ages, period. So there's ages, period, and there's an end L. So now the output cursor will be sitting down here waiting to display the next thing. The next line calculates average. Now, all along, this has been undefined, but now it finally does have a value, which is 40 divided by 2. So that value is 20. I had 20.0, but I just changed it. So that value is 20. 40 divided by 2 is 20. And so that's executed that line. All right, then see out the average of the ages is, now the cursor is still sitting here, next line, 20. Since it's an integer, it just, it has no decimal places. And so that's, so it says 20 here, which is average. So we put average 20, and then with the end L, the cursor is down here on the next line. And the next thing that happens in the program is return 0, which means that the program will exit back out to the operating system or wherever it came from. And so that's the end of the execution of this program. This is the state of the program when we left it, but once it leaves, then all of this stuff all this memory is reallocated, and this output may be on your screen, or it may have something that just tells you to close a box, depending on if you're interactive or whatever. So, but that was the output. That was the state right before it left. But once it leaves, your program is over, and this process of being able to trace through the code and figure out what the values are, etc., is very important to be able to do, because This is the only way you're going to find errors in your code. And there will always be errors in your code to begin with, and then the goal is to get rid of them. And so hand tracing, like I just did here, is a important method for learning how to debug your programs.